It's fantastic daily time again. It's almost as popular as Flat Earth to make this video. Imagine that. People are so interested into the story that they actually gonna watch my videos. So I've received so far the stats is 150 views and 4 likes, and this is not something I get on a typical video ever, right? And now I understand where it's coming from, because it happened with Flat Earth as well. So if you put certain hot topic tags, Jake Paul is not one of them, right? Jake Paul is just like a childish porn star. No one is actually going to look into someone else talking about the person. They actually want to see the real thing, right? That's it. There's actually no story. There's just kind of more like an exploitation. Or they own the story at the moment. So what we're seeing with the Fantastic Daily, the story got shifted a little bit. It's now more about the audience than the actual person, because the person will always, it's almost like every story has to start with the person kind of offending other people, or doing something immature, doing something immoral, and then getting exposed and starting to get scared that he cannot continue doing things the way that he did. And this is kind of like the typical start of the story. Although Fantastic Daily's story wasn't very exciting, the only thing that was interesting is the Black-Eyed Kids. This is a bigger pool of stuff that I would watch really intensely. It's one of those things that created the Fantastic Dailies, like a pivot point, something that he can really use and abuse. And who knows what this frequency actually does, but who knows if it's whatever the intention now. We can call him Andrew now, but whatever his intention is, because he releases the audio file now, and I don't know, I'm too scared to use it, but I'm willing to see what the audience does. Although that's kind of annoying, right? Like there's going to be 50% fake shit going on. People wanting attention or something. I don't know. For me personally, attention is just the most stupid thing ever, because it never does anything good for you. Yeah, I kind of hate success in general. As everyone else, you get successful, oh shit. Why did I not get successful? For not doing what you're doing at all. For not making scams. I mean, you have to really understand that people who are making scams, making stories, they have to sacrifice a lot as well. So I think that should be encouraged. Like, I've seen a very interesting series, Prague versus Crooks, and it's very sad that people can only pick one very uncolorful pivot point. It makes a good story, but it doesn't create a good ending, right? You're kind of like disappointed. You want to follow it for a long time. It's like you really invest into the stuff. You really learn because of the story. This is the stuff that I want to watch. So even though I think Fantastic Daily doesn't deserve any hate anymore. I think we just need to demand that he continues the story and he stops fooling us. Or we're gonna do the same thing again. Right? Putting him in a position where he must not continue what he's doing. He has to turn around because it is getting out of control. Now I received a comment saying, oh, he made my wife cry. Now I'm super mad because he referenced a dead child, and that's not true. I don't know, man. I am very familiar with people being sensitive to ideas, and I am thinking 100% that is the most stupid thing that you can do, is be offended to ideas. All you do is just back off. You can't find the internet. Internet is designed so you don't fight it unless someone is doing something incredibly immoral. But the Fantastic Daily was picking up money from other people. Now you kind of look into this, right? But something like NASA and Flat Earth, no one is looking into where the money goes. Money goes to the government. Government pays NASA. Does anyone look into the money? But now people are starting to wake up. It's like, man, we have to check if this story is true because, oh shit, if Earth is actually flat, like, that would be fucking chaos. That would be apocalypse, guys. That is exciting. That was an exciting story, and this is the only thing that I love consuming in the internet. Is these type of incredibly mind-blowing stuff. And yeah, taking a pivot point like this, I cannot do it. I'm not a real life person. I cannot approach people with a lot of power and ask them questions or ask anything in general or be even scammed because I'm not out there in the real world. So I cannot do crazy ass stories like this. There's a lot of things to learn as well. But yeah. I mean, this is just a part of the story. Fantastic Daily pissing off a bunch of people. You have to understand that this is just a part of the story, and it has to continue. And story only ends when everyone is satisfied. So this is how the story goes. First, it catches your attention. It kind of starts to get a little bit out of control, and then you just get so involved that you already have a story to tell of your own, and this is where the audience starts to grow when the perspective from that one person has to shift to the audience itself, and that's interesting. I'm trying to learn this storytelling. It's very important for me. Not that I'm willing to make scams, willing to tell lies. I will never do that, because that's bullshit. That's a very bullshit part, and I might even want to explore a little bit deeper into it, like what are the consequences of lying about what happens. But Fantastic Daily Story is just very tiny. There's so many things that you should be upset about, and this tiny thing that happened on the internet, a bunch of ideas. For most people, that was just a bunch of ideas. Even if they get involved in some way, it's just, it's just a trigger. You got involved, now you got invested, you got interested. That's the whole point. and the lie is kind of over. So I'm not sure, right? I will still have to figure out what that means. What it means to actually lie, because I would never do that. I don't want to do that. If anything, I would tell a fiction, but I would say that, yeah, that's fictional. And you kind of want it to creep on you and like, yeah, if I was to create a fantastic daily story, let's see, I am doing the same thing pretty much, kind of creating a fictional world and putting myself into that world, and that fictional world is stabbing me in the back and pushing me into reality because it gets popular and all that crap. And so now I have to deal with all this real stuff instead of my fictional stuff because everyone wanted to join because it was so fun. Everyone wanted to join, and now I have to deal with all this crap. I think, yeah, it doesn't require lying. Drama just naturally escalates. The lying part, you can only lie if it's totally fictional and everyone knows that, right? You're making a cartoon. You're making something that is totally lie, totally unrelated, and that's cool. Like round Earth. If it's a absolute lie, but nobody knows that, it could be a good story, but because people are taking money for it and doing all this crap, we kind of have to like end that part of the story and take our money back and stuff. Because that is not cool. That is not a story. I don't know. This is the part which I have to figure out. The part where I'm saying that is not a story because you're scamming us. I don't know. It's a story. It's a part of humanity story, but it's not something that you want to tell to other people. Something like this. So yeah, it's pretty complicated. Morality is pretty complicated, but I would say that Fantastic Daily is on a zero value because he invested into the story a lot. It seems to like to be continuing. He didn't actually back off. He actually planned this step to move to the next step. He released the audio, whatever. It seems to be valuable, right? It seems to be pretty valuable, and besides being just a box of ideas and perhaps influencing people a little bit too much, but I would never treat ideas more than just that. But that's me, right? That's my no life tag. I just don't care about a lot of stuff. And that kind of saves me, makes me independent. I don't have a wife that gets offended and I have to protect her. I don't have this, right? This is one of those reasons why I don't want any girlfriends, any of this survival family stuff. Again, family stuff is just pure survival. You serve my needs, I serve your needs. It's wonderful. But not for me. For me, it's stupid. For me, I'm looking for something better. That is my story. This is what inspired me to make content in general, is to figure out what the fuck life is, but most importantly, what love is. I think that's a cool pivot for me, right? It's a cool pivot point. Some channels like Soul Pancake has this pivot point of exploring this concept, but I think I can do a little better than that. Or maybe I'll find some better pivot points. Maybe storytelling is my pivot point. But still, love is... Actually, I'm a little bit distant from this subject. So I don't know. I have no idea what my pivot point is anymore. So it's gonna take time. Yeah, and it's very hard to distinct a small story that one person can handle in a big story that one person does not deserve to touch. Like reality, whatever the truth is about reality, we should exchange, but we should never touch as a pivot point of our stories. It should never be, oh, this entity is trying to hurt me. That was the entire story of Fantastic Dailies, basically. Oh, I'm being hunted down. I'm in danger all the time. Holy crap. So, well, yeah. What Fantastic Daily will have to repay with is people's trust. And that's a big thing to pay with, alright? So we don't have to hate him. We already don't trust him. So that's good enough for me. And the fact that he can stab a bunch of strangers, everyone can do that. Everyone can stab strangers and clueless people. Everyone can bring them into a story. Now, as a storyteller, I'll have to compete. I'll have to start stabbing people. God damn it. Get the fuck out of here.